Well, hello everyone. I just got back from doing my salsa, actually bachata dance class right now. So I'm only doing it once a week. I had to cut back a little bit just due to losing the job back in October. So trying to be a little bit smart with my money, but not doing that great so far. But getting off of that, I had a lot of things in my brain I wanted to go over with that were, a little more serious from the men's standpoint in regard to dating again, getting out there again. As a single older guy, especially those guys who've been married for a long time like me. So anyways, I've definitely noticed that you've got, at my age bracket, women, there's two types. There's ones that they just basically do want to be friends and date with a bunch of different guys, go out to different clubs and that kind of stuff. Then you got the ones that are actively on the hunt for that, next love of their life, which is, respectable. But I definitely have found that some of them are basically so focused on that either they have a unreasonably long checklist, or they are saying they want to just be, single and enjoying different stuff. But in reality, once you start talking to them, you can see that they're actively on the hunt, dating I know one gal has basically dated 3 different guys in 1 week. Just to, it's not saying she's sleeping with them, but basically she's wanting to meet as many men as she can possibly meet in a short amount of time, feeling like her clock is ticking for her to find somebody else, so, and you can tell she kind of puts that pressure on different guys or judges them very quickly. So I worry about her because she's a very nice person, but it could put a strain on anybody who's trying to have a relationship with her. So we've become friends, which has been nice, but I just think that she's basically just too focused on it instead of just relaxing and having a good time and thinking, about improving herself first, which will lead me into the discussion that I like to say for a lot of guys is, and I did it. When I came out of my separation, it took me, a few months basically to kind of shake it off a little bit. And then I was one of those guys who just say, either I pout at home or I get out. So I got myself out, which I think overall was a good thing. But I got myself out, I think, and my brain wanted to say, oh, you need somebody else, you need somebody else, you need somebody else, So I was pretty laser focused on just meeting women basically on that and trying to get out with and seeing, hopefully maybe I'll meet, my missus right. And then realized there was a gal actually who very back in the beginning, and I had done a bunch of dating sites, and I can't remember her name, but I think she worked for a legal firm. But she was very nice. But she basically, after some longer discussions on a dating app, she just said, "You're not ready yet." And I was like, "What do you mean I'm not ready yet?" She's like, "Well, it's too soon for you. You're going to go through a lot of different emotions, and you're not ready for a relationship yet." And I said, I know I'm different. I'm more prepared. And in reality, she was absolutely correct because she had been separated for like 3 years. So she'd already been there and done that. So she knew. And I actually followed up with her probably 8 months later. I just sent a little short text basically saying, "You're right." And she basically got back to me, "Right about what?" And I said, "You said this about me and you were right. I've gone through and I'm still going through stuff." So we're all human, and we do go through all the range of emotions, So like I still miss my ex in the sense of that friendship we had still, even though obviously we had died from a love standpoint the last few years, but it was still, you still care about the person that was, especially the mother of your children, and you were married to him for 30 years, So, and then leaving your home and then leaving, your wife and it basically just, it hammers you. So you got to really, try to, like I said, like I did in previous videos I talked about, I got out there and just made sure I had things to look forward to. Otherwise, man, it would crush you, So it's very important for you guys. Basically, first and foremost, focus on yourself. As each day has gone by now, because I'm a year, officially I'm like a year and a couple of weeks since I moved out, even though unofficially we were I think, mentally separated for the last few years of our marriage, at least. But now that whole year of truly being on your own and then going through all those emotions and, the sad times, the lonely times, the happy times, so now I feel more comfortable being who I am, and basically focused on me, so now actually the only thing I worry about is I might get so comfortable just being single and being, thinking about myself that it might make it harder for me to accept a woman who does come into my life. So I don't want to be that way because I've seen so many women now that are that way because they've been hurt by jerk guys who just treated them wrong or, whatever. Sometimes it's two to tango and they cause it themselves sometimes. But because of that and that negativity, they start putting all men in the same bracket and basically saying, no, men suck, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And he's not right for me. He's not checking all my boxes or whatever. So it's a big thing. Basically, they got to be happy with themselves too. And some of those women I've known that were that way, you can tell they're not happy with themselves. You can tell they still got issues that they've got to deal with. So, as a friend of mine said, at this age we all have some baggage, which is he's right. We all do. That's Richie, by the way. Hi, Richie. So definitely, I think focus on yourself, and like I've talked in previous videos, improve your looks, your health, your dress, everything about it. Step it up. Like I had a friend just tease me because I iron all my clothes, and I seem to have to do it more than I used to do, but probably because I got more clothes. But probably about twice a week now, and obviously not working right now, I have more time. If I was working, I'd be lucky to get it in once a week. And it is, I guess I'm not the norm when it comes to a guy ironing. So I know my ex used to say that because she hated iron. I used to even iron her stuff when she needed it. So, but I've been ironing since I was like 16, working in the restaurant industry and riding a motorcycle to work and needing to have pressed clothes to put on and not be all wrinkled. So I learned. Actually had a gay guy named George, I still remember, from Napa Valley that taught me how to fold. And so anyways, but that's just me. And I like having all my stuff basically clean, ready to go whenever I want to pull something out of the closet. I'm a little OCD that way too. All my stuff's color coded. So some people make fun of me for that. But I think it's very organized. But so yeah, get your life in order. Think about what you're doing. Concentrate on yourself. Make yourself happier, both health-wise, activities that you're doing, things you're looking forward to. And I still believe in that. If you're not looking for it, is when it's going to happen. That happened to me when I met my ex a long time ago. I was actually having a really good time with a couple of good friends in the country dancing scene. In the evenings, we were young and having a good time, and we even had a little skit. We did a couple line dance teaching, things like that, and we were having a tremendous amount of fun. I had no intentions of meeting and falling for anyone. I was enjoying being what a lot of the ladies would come to, just for me and my friends. Basically, we were very sought after, so that was a fun time. But when it happened, boom. So. In fact, I remember when I met my ex, I had met two women, my ex and another gal, and I liked them both. So it was interesting how that came about, the whole finality about that. But anyways, like I said, if you're not looking for it and not so trying so hard to find it, it will find you. So confidence in yourself. Be kind to others. Treat others as you would like to be treated yourself. I mean, it's all things we've all heard forever. Just be a good person. And, get out there. I don't care what you do. Donate your time with a charity or a soup kitchen. I've done a couple of those now and really enjoyed it and felt good inside when I did it. So whatever it takes for you, and look forward to your travels, your playing tennis, whatever, so have fun. Think about yourself before you can think about someone else. Bye.